to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We will move on to our consensus agenda.
Okay, I move that we approve the vouchers from last month. They total $661,918.96. We had 3 payrolls last month, and their total is $760,484.45. That makes a total expenditure last month of $1,422,403.41. Along with that, I'd like to move that we approve the minutes from our last meeting.
I'll second that.
All right, it's moved by Steve, seconded by Wes. All in favor? Aye. Motion passes 4-0. We will move on to personnel.
All right, I'd like to recommend the approval of the resignation of Catherine Nelson as an elementary instructional assistant and the resignation of Amy Chisholm as the high school boys track coach.
I'll move that we approve those resignations.
Second.
Moved by Wes, seconded by Steve. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Motion passes 4-0.
I'd like to recommend the approval of Gail Lemler as a part-time evening custodian. This is the same Gail Lemler that was a employee last year. And then Abby Dreibelbiss as a substitute teacher. I do want to remind you the substitute teaching pool, we are meeting with them individually if they were not part of the individual or the beginning of the year substitute training. So going through a lot of those things and just trying to use that as a filter as well. So
Move we approve those as presented.
I'll second your motion.
Moved by Steve, seconded by Wes. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Motion passes 4-0.
I'd like to recommend the approval of Christy Hooley, Anna Dameron, and Paul Harms as high school band volunteers.
I move we approve those volunteers.
Second.
Been moved by Wes, seconded by Steve. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Motion passes 4-0.
I recommend the approval of Dan Stichter as a volunteer and activity bus driver.
Is that volunteering to be an activity bus driver, or is there more volunteering involved? I don't know, he volunteers a lot anyway, I just want.
Activity bus driving. I'm not sure if there's other volunteering going on.
I mean, he already
But
does.
Dan, I would
There will
say
be
he
more.
Probably is.
Okay.
So we're gonna approve both volunteering. Because if he wrote it wrong on the sheet, we're gonna take advantage of it. And activity bus, he's already been through the training for that. He does come in with C3 to the buildings and stuff like that, so we'll just make that a blanket approval, and so I'll call him and say he is a volunteer.
I'll make that motion that we approve Dan to do whatever he wants to do, I guess.
Easy.
I know, so.
Whatever he's willing to do.
Kevin, can you second that?
Yep.
I wondered about that.
All right, it's
Nobody else
moved
to
by
second.
Wes, seconded by Kevin. Any discussion? All in favor? Motion passes 3-0-1?
Yeah.
3-1-0, something like that.
I recommend the approval of the basketball, wrestling, and cheer coaches as was in the packet, so the list of all of those levels.
I move we approve those as presented.
I'll second.
Been moved by Steve, seconded by Wes. Any discussion? All in favor? Motion passes 4-0.
And last but not least, I'd like to recommend the approval of Jody Vermillion's request to use the sick bank. She had her little kiddo probably 3 weeks ago. Beautiful little girl, and yeah. But even if it wasn't beautiful, I recommend the request to use the sick bank.
Cora is very beautiful, so.
That's not a caveat to the recommendation.
I move to approve Jody using the sick bank days.
I'll second.
All righty. Any other discussion? If not, all in favor? Motion passes 4-0. Moving on to other business.
I recommend the approval of the 2024 budget as discussed last month.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Wes, seconded by Steve. Any discussion? Any comments from Tom? Nope. All right. All in favor? Motion passes 4-0.
And I recommend the approval of the appropriation reduction resolution.
And
As
I
presented.
move we approve that.
Second.
Moved by Steve, seconded by Wes. Any discussion? All in favor? Motion passes 4-0.
And last but not least, Laura and I have been working through this, continuing to update the budgets, or excuse me, not the budgets, the corporation policy. So I recommend the approval of the second reading and adopt the corporation policy, volume 35, number 1, September 2022.
Move we approve that as presented.
Second.
It's been moved by Steve, seconded by Wes. Any discussion? All in favor? Motion passes 4-0.
Thank you, whoever was working with that. I don't know, was anybody on board?
No, Ryan Snoddy and Laura and I kind of worked through that. At one time, Terry had kind of been part of that too, but in the end, Laura makes some of those changes. If there's anything in question, we have a conversation, but typically it's pretty straightforward, their recommendations. So,
Moving on to Superintendent Report.
all right, let's go ahead and work through the core values, continuous improvement. Triton gives back in its 5th year, continues to become better and better. Thank you to our incredible counseling team for the time and effort put into this worthy cause. I want to thank our teachers, our students, for their willingness to serve our community. The gesture does not go unnoticed, and the community has shared their thanks for our students and their willingness to give back. I did include just a couple. One was a letter from a local business individual that we work with a lot. The other one was from a teacher, just giving their thanks for the one teacher was in another district and just said, I appreciate the differences that I'm seeing within our district, and I felt like it was worthy of you guys seeing that as well. The other one is from Matt Davis, who I believe most of us know. He took part in and/or has been part of the Dream Day for quite some time now, and just called me the other day, put it in an email as well, but called me the other day and just said there was a huge difference in between maybe the first time I came and the last time I came just last week. And we also had other students there, and he just appreciated how well the Triton students did. Interactions with the colleges and the businesses, how they were dressed, their intentional eye contact and staying off of their phones and all the things that went along with that. So couldn't have been more proud of our kids in that day. Shared leadership, there's a lot of stuff here, but I want to make sure we're trying to hit as many of those as possible. I want to thank our transportation department. As was posted, they worked through the rear door evacuation drills. Students did a great job. That is dependent on some of our older students taking a little bit of leadership and helping those younger students off the bus, as that's quite a little leap. So just thank for the team effort that's going on there. So shared leadership once again. Bourbon PD, Warsaw PD, Kosciuszko County Police Department, Indiana State Police Department, their canine drug search that we did last week went well, but it takes a lot of effort and planning in between Mr. McCann and those groups to make sure that goes off without a hitch. And thank you for Steve Watkins helping with that. I want to thank personally Tom, Barry, Rodney, Nate, Christine for just seeing the bond projects through for each of their buildings and areas of influence. Those are getting really, really close to wrapping up. Fall break will be a huge time especially for our main offices. That was a bulk of that project for those to be cleaned out and or replaced. Fall break, the varsity football team will help remove elementary desks and chairs for the new desks that can replace them. The weight room flooring and equipment will be removed and replaced with our new flooring and equipment for our students and community. Eventually, the lights on the tennis courts will be replaced, again, with the help of the K-21 Health Foundation, but also to the help of the trusted vendors and local businesses. As we continue with social responsibility, I want to congratulate the distinguished young women Congratulations to Cheyenne Hawley on taking home the crown, but also winners of several scholarships included Sierra Hawley, Jocelyn Faulkner, and Addison Veers. These are 4 incredible young ladies who continue to model what it looks like to show Trojan pride, and I want to thank them. And also just thinking of others over self, as we'll talk a little bit more about in our report. I'm very proud of you guys and the DYW team for the efforts that they put in each year for the incredible scholarship opportunities. Also, congratulations to Zach Greer and Adam Horan on earning scholarship money as the junior misters. So I heard that was not a really hard task, but entertaining nonetheless, right? So, Orion, do you have, or Kevin, do you have anything to add to those?
No, it was a great time, and even though we only had 4 contestants this year, we had a really nice crowd, so we've got a good program going.
It is. 4 stellar young ladies, so it was, I know they were excited, trying to drum up business on Friday night at the football game, asking everybody if they were gonna attend, so. Accountability, I referenced the letters in front of you, so I already kind of did this. Just as a way of our community saying thank you. So a couple of those areas were how students were dressed for such a great opportunity, how much time they put into just being ready for the day, how they addressed the guests, and the organization of the event was great. This year, students were on task, focused on their individual conversations. I think they mentioned that there was only 1 student on their phone the entire time that they noticed. So. And I will tell you, we all saw that, and it was very appropriate, but in the end, we were hoping for none. So it was good. High expectations, I want to congratulate Mr. Seal on the performance of his band. So we're very proud of the Spirit of Triton Marching Band and their success at Regional. Mr. Seal has high expectations for his performers, and we wish them their best at Semi-State, which is Saturday, October 21st. So they skip a week. My understanding, and they don't perform this weekend, but next weekend. Triton girls varsity volleyball team is 25-5. Their sectionals are at Marquette starting on Thursday. Triton cross country continues to successfully compete each week. Their sectionals are at Manchester this weekend. Triton varsity football is 5-3. They had their sectional draw and is going to put in the work to compete for a sectional title. Triton varsity cheerleaders had over 50 girls attend their clinic on Saturday. Those girls will cheer at the junior high game on Thursday, I believe. The junior high cross country had 4 boys achieve all conference. They also achieved second at their in conference. And the girls also, 2 girls made all conference, and they achieved 3rd at conference. But I specifically want to thank Nancy Nordman and Jenny Mevis for leading them well. Jocelyn Faulkner and Ms. Heckerman were all conference for our varsity runners. Caden Large, Jaden Heckerman were all conference for our, all conference honorable mention for our young men. Both girls and boys placed 3rd in conference. Men's tennis were undefeated in conference play. They won the HNAC outright. Hard to not win it when you're undefeated. Chloe McKinney, a freshman golfer, qualified for regional, so all great things happening. Congratulations to Sammy Middall for being one of 9 delegates to the National 4-H Dairy Conference, and Caden Amsden for receiving an award from Officer Watkins for showing the Trojan way, just thinking of another student that was having difficulty that day and really went out of his way to help them. As we move on to alignment, I feel like it's with our board and just having the conversations with our community. I just ask, what is our common goal? And I think we can all land on the fact that our common goal is to provide a safe learning environment for our students, staff, and patrons to thrive. We obviously have visions, missions, and we can name all of those, but overall, just really looking to our community, our school to provide a safe environment. Unfortunately, the actions and the dialogue and the bickering that has taken place in our community over the last couple of weeks has been nothing less than disheartening. Many conversations have been had, expectations have and will continue to be set, and I am asking that our parents model what they expect out of their sons and daughters. All the while, I've been so pleased with our students' response while they're working to win regionals, beat ranked opponents, etc. It is beyond my comprehension how we can continue to tear down, degrade, defame, and rip apart the people we share a community with. I encourage those who are in the conflict with multiple people to deal with those by going to those people and rectifying your differences for the sake of our students, teams, and community. I do want to remind, and I think sometimes they're empty words, but the simple actions that we try to portray every day, we fail often, we have to say we're sorry, but I do want to remind our people.
I didn't get that. Could you try?
Siri's listening. That personal responsibility, just when we do something we shouldn't, taking responsibility for that, saying I'm sorry, going the extra mile to help somebody understand that that you're taking responsibility. The respect factor, respect yourself, respect others, respect the institution, respect the kids. Integrity, do the right thing even when nobody's watching. Words under our breath, words when nobody's around to keep them accountable. Determination, overcoming obstacles. We all have obstacles in our life to overcome, and that determination piece is just a reminder to be determined and to overcome those with dignity. And then enthusiasm. We love excitement when it's encouraging and when it's uplifting. So I just want to encourage us to continue to use the correct enthusiasm when we're at games, when we're at the grocery store, those type of things, just being kind. And then the Trojan way. I think a lot of the things that we've had to experience, that I've had to report out the last couple weeks to our board, conversations I've had in this room and other rooms and or over the phone, all could have been a lot different had we just simply thought, how is the other person going to feel if I say, or thinking of other people over ourselves. So I just want to, that there's not a name involved. It's like a church service. When the pastor says something to the effect of everybody needs to be listening, I'm listening as I speak these words, but this is not a message for somebody else. It's a message for each of us. So I just encourage, the fact is we have kids doing a lot of great things, and unfortunately it's being overshadowed in some arenas with people that want to fight and create drama. So it's frustrating, it's challenging, and I feel like it can be avoided if we just take some of those things into account and do our best to continue to try to uplift. And remember, our kids are in high school. Some of them are in the best time of their life, and it's not our time to overshadow because of, I don't know, just little insecurities and bickering. So be more than happy to answer any questions on that. But so hopefully the overall message is heard, and understand my heart behind that is just simply, man, let's enjoy our kids right now, especially as they go into tournaments and could go a long way if a few things fall into place while we're on the outside creating, I don't know, drama. So last but not least, evidence-based decision-making. I think it's very appropriate within our core values to give a shout out to our corporation counselors, Sarah Arvison, Ashley Faulkner, Stacy Sheets, Miss Allie Shook, who is the Executive Director of Lifelong Learning Network, and Miss Jen Felke, the Executive Director of North Central CTE from Marshall County and Stark County. These ladies have absolutely got after it the last couple of years in getting our kids apprenticeships in CTE programs. We have a record number of students who are enrolled in CTE courses and internships this year. These ladies continue to work together to put such events as Dream Day, Manufacturing Day, Discovery, field trips, college signings, audit days, CTE fairs, FAFSA nights, and the list goes on. We are incredibly blessed with a team who makes evidence-based decision-making for our students, get to know their wants and desires, and then gives them the best shot to succeed in their futures. So just so blessed if we look back, and this is not a reflection on anyone, but if we look back on our counseling programs, even 4 to 5 years ago, we've come a long way. We've given our students a lot of opportunities, and a lot of these people, and just the synergy that they've created within that department has really helped with that. So I know I've stolen Mr. McCann's thunder and Mrs. Cook's thunder, but just a lot of things to be thankful for, and a lot of blessings to hang our hat on, and I just don't want those to get overshadowed with the other things of life that can be avoided.
Okay. I inadvertently forgot the patrons' comments earlier, so are there any patrons present that would like to give a comment? No? Okay. We will move on to billing and reports. Who would like to go first? I'm guessing.
I'll start.
I have the mic.
Yes, okay. Like Mr. Riffle said, some of our projects are around the building are finally getting finished up, namely our front entrance. We're getting used to it. We now have 2 sets of doors that can be locked and secured, and a door that goes directly into the office, which will help direct our visitors and so forth there. A little bit confusing for our staff at first, what to expect and what opens what, but we're getting used to it, and so I think that's going to be a good thing. So I appreciate the work that's gone into it. I know it's taken a lot of different parties to get that done. And then over fall break, we'll be looking at delivery of new desks and chairs. Grades K through 3 are getting new desks and chairs. Grades 4, 5, 6 are just getting new chairs right now. I think the chairs are going to be more comfortable, give the kids a little bit of wiggle room, but when I think about them sitting on it all day, I think the ones that we're going to get are going to be a little bit more comfortable for them. Not that they're in it solid for that long, but yeah, they spend a lot of time in their chairs. The ones that were purchased before have held up well over the years. So, but they're ready to go. So we're excited about that. Getting some new things in the front office as well. So looking forward to that and hope that goes well over fall break. Last week we finished up a walkathon, and students were the 2 weeks before that ran the track all week and did a great job running, walking, etc., having fun competing. This last week we finished up our donations. We're going to be giving prizes and awarding those on Friday of this week. Also last week, the Lions Club helped us do the vision screening in grades that is required, grades 1, 3, and 5, and also, Mrs. Hostetler, our speech pathologist, also completed some hearing screenings for our first graders and I think 4th graders. So anyway, that's a good thing. We just want to make sure that if we can alleviate any problems with learning that starts with vision and hearing, we just make referrals to the parents then to take them on for further testing to see a regular eye doctor or another doctor for their hearing. Also, this week, our student council that is under new direction with Lana Hostrauser and Lisa Hammond have made some Spirit Weeks, and they're also Spirit Week dress-up days, and they're also sponsoring a penny drive. And the winner of the penny drive, we have 6 people, teachers and staff, including Mr. Riffle, who volunteered to get a pie in the face. So that's the incentive. Whoever gets the most, you can vote with your pennies, your coins, your cash, whatever. Most votes gets a pie in the face. So every afternoon, they're letting us know who's the leader. So that's got a lot of kids talking. Right now, based on what was brought in today, I don't think I'm going to have to kiss a pig. That's what I'm hoping not to do. So that's if they reach a goal. But anyway, we'll see. We still have days yet to come. And then also we have, of course, the most important thing going on right now. Thursday is parent-teacher conferences. We're looking forward to seeing all of our parents in person. If we can't, at least a phone call conference to talk about progress, performance, growth areas, and making a plan for the rest of the semester and forward. When we come back from break, then we're going to look forward to Red Ribbon Week, and we're going to have some classroom presentations for that. Mrs. Sheets, Officer Watkins, and Nurse Brenna are going to be going around to classrooms and talking about good decision making, healthy living, and that kind of thing, ways that they can do that. And then the PTO is going to be sponsoring a Haunted Hallways on October 26th, where students can come into the building in costume and trick or treat the hallways for just a little bit and get some nice treats and in a very safe atmosphere. So that's going to be something new that we're looking forward to. I think that's about it.
All right, for the junior, senior high school, I'm going to fill in some gaps here that maybe were left out. September 28th, we did a peer-to-peer modeling, which is really just professional development for our staff. So what that looked like is, and I'll say Andy Bass kind of headed that up and took charge of that, so I really appreciate his leadership. But we had 3 teachers in the morning and 3 teachers in the afternoon, and then they observed 3 teachers in the morning and 3 teachers in the afternoon. And the idea was just, I feel like we have amazing teachers, And the best professional development we could offer our staff is to learn from one another. So they had the opportunity to go into classrooms and just see what's going great in those classrooms. The topic was, what does good instruction look like? So they got to observe, then they got to leave that classroom with the teacher they just observed and talk about it. Maybe ask questions, maybe give suggestions, just a lot of really good dialogue. So we're hoping to do that several times this year and get a lot more of our staff involved in that. But I was real pleased with how our first one this year went. We did it a few years ago, and it kind of got pushed on the back burner, but I'm hoping we can keep the momentum going. October 4th, Dream Day, Manufacturing Day. I know Mr. Riffle talked a little bit about this, but a lot goes into the organization of those days. So just recognizing some people, first of all, the counseling department and office staff, they just put a lot of time in just the details. Marcel Lindsay prepared amazing food for our guests. Chaperones / bus drivers that took our kids out to the different locations for the manufacturing day. Our transportation department, I just feel like we throw them a lot of curveballs, and Laura and her team they always hit them. And I just appreciate her working with us and hearing us out when we have ideas. So colleges and universities had a great turnout from just those individuals, as well as employers from Marshall County, Kosciuszko County, and appreciate their support. And then, like Mr. Riffle said, I have to give a shout out to our students because they were amazing. I feel like they represented not only us well, but themselves well. And this was a great opportunity to just network, and they did a really good job of it. So kudos to them. Let's see here. Renovations, auditorium. We have band and choir concert tonight, and it's nice to start to show off the work that we put into the auditorium. We are still learning how to use that equipment and use it correctly, but some great improvements in there. So I appreciate the opportunity to have that. Door 4, I think we've got it up and running. We've had hiccups here and there, but I think we've been able to work through those. And then the office, it is my hope that over fall break, everything comes together and the office is finalized. And just a shout out to our office staff. They've been very patient and understanding, and they've just been cooperative with the process. So really appreciate that from them. Mr. Riffle also talked about the band moving on to the semi-state, and I'll just point out that at the regionals this last weekend, of around approximately 10 teams, we finished 3rd overall. So I thought that was something just to highlight. I don't know if they've really announced that, but they did a really good job. They put a lot of time and effort into that. Let's see here. October 12th, so this Thursday, what we're going to do at the junior senior high school, similar to what we did last year, staff will come in at noontime, and we will have some professional development from 12 to 3:30. We'll have a staff meal leading up to our parent-teacher conferences, and we'll have conferences from 5 to 7. So we've tried to get the word out to our parents that we're having our conferences. Last year we had a great turnout. I'm hoping we have at least that, if not more, this year. Today we did send a letter home with every student that we felt was struggling in some area, academics, and maybe in even some other areas. So we wanted to send a request to those parents that we feel they need to come in, they need to meet with some teachers and have some dialogue about how their child's doing. So hopefully we have a good turnout Thursday night. And then the last thing I'll mention is Mr. Yarbrough, Rick Yarbrough. He is going to be participating in Leadership Marshall County this year. I was able to participate in that last year. Just a great way to sharpen your skills as a leader, but also a great networking opportunity as well. So hopefully he goes through that and sees the value in it and is able to take a lot from that experience. So that's all I have, unless you guys have questions.
I have one thing to add. October 21st, I've been in conversation about the possibility of doing it's kind of a trunk or treat for special needs students on campus. There hasn't been a ton of information shared on that. We did put the flyer out. I do need to it's actually going to be held in kind of the Circle Drive area at the high school. Very little maintenance or things involved in that. They just wanted to provide a safe space. Specifically, the individual I've been talking to has an autistic kiddo, and they just want to make sure that the people that are going to be there are providing a really safe space no matter what for those kids, and yet they still get the experience to get a little bit of candy and have a little bit of fun and dress up. So sometimes that can be a real challenge going from house to house and people maybe not being real understanding. Spencerman, I believe, is how you say her last name. We've been in contact about that. So there'll be more information to come. She has filled out a building usage form. So just an extra event. We know that there will be some public that show up to that, but in the end, it is specific for those kiddos that should have a little bit more of a struggle. So